Day live because I have some exciting news and I wanted to share it with all of my friends. I am so excited. I am so excited. Oh my God. I cannot wait to share this with you. It is going to be amazing. Amazing. So let me know where you are tuning in from. As you know, I'm here in Santa Barbara, California, where the sun is always shining. Not really, but today it is amazing. And I just got done with my very intense workout, and I was able to jump today and land on my feet without any pain in my ankle area that I've been struggling with for a couple of years. So, yay. I am super pumped. And then I also wanted to share with you guys some exciting news that I just heard from a woman that joined my SEXify Her program just a couple months ago. So you wonder, oh my gosh, yes, I see that there's an issue in my marriage. I see that we could improve our sex life, but I have not actually joined Heather's program yet. Okay, if you're on the fence, which I know a lot of you are, let me share with you a real life conversation with a woman that came to me a couple months ago, and she said, question, I've always been the primary initiator in our marriage, and I am seriously sick of it. He aims to please, but he never initiates, and I'm starting to feel like I'm not worthy of being initiated with in the bedroom. So when she wrote this to me just a couple months ago, she came to me in tears, on the verge of divorce, on the verge of cheating, and she had this main desire of wanting to know that she was desired. So she had no problem letting her husband know, hey, I'm in the mood, but he was not coming to her. And so she was really starting to take a hit on her subconscious, on how she feels as a woman. She started to feel that she wasn't feminine enough for him to want her, that she wasn't sexy enough, that she had too big of a body for him to want her. So, this is how she brought up the conversation to me through private message a couple of months ago. Okay. Now, she signed up for SEXify Her, my marriage program that will literally take your sex life and revive it, improve it, bring it back to life. You'll go from sexless to sexified. You'll go from feeling not sexy to sexy. You'll have more cravings for sex. Your husband will crave you more, like all the things. It's amazing. So, after just a couple months of using my program, I wanted to let you guys know, because I celebrate you when improvement happens, because I know how good it feels when you start to see God work in your marriage. It is incredible. So, here's what she said. Okay, I'm scrolling to find what she said. All right. Okay. So here is what has happened in just the last couple of months. She's gone from feeling like they were going to get a divorce, or that he was going to cheat, or that she was going to cheat. Now she knows that her relationship equals togetherness, acceptance, that they're working on it together, that they have developed respectful communication around sex. They're building up trust. and honesty. They're valuing each other as being themselves. They are accepting their authentic selves and not trying to change each other anymore. And her husband is now initiating sex just this week, she said. He has initiated sex 2 times so far. This has never happened in our 15 years of marriage. So I'm celebrating her. Like, that is such a huge, huge accomplishment and a relief to the person that has been struggling with an issue inside their marriage and to finally see things turn around. So I'm praising God that I have been able to be a part of her real life transformation in the bedroom. It is such a privilege for me to work with her. It's a privilege to work with each of you. I have been a sex coach now for almost 10 years, and I have helped thousands and thousands of men and women just like you to improve the sex part of your relationship. And I cannot believe how much more confidence that you have individually, and you're showing up in just this more powerful way. And you're more turned on, and he's more turned on by you. And it's so amazing because I know you never thought it could be this good. Okay. So I'm excited to work with the next round of ladies. We're starting up a new group just in a couple of days, actually. So this is your time to join SEXify Her. So in the comments, let me know if you are ready, if you'd like some more information, if you maybe never heard of SEXify Her. What is that, Heather? What is this? Okay. So I'll give you a quick synopsis. It is a program designed for married women to improve their sex life. So whether it's to spice things up, so maybe you feel bored in the bedroom and you want to learn some new positions, you want to learn to add some more adventure so that you're not feeling monotonous. So that the program's for you if you're wanting to spice things up. The program is for you if you are sexless right now and you want to restore the sexual part of your relationship. You want to feel connected again. You want to feel emotionally connected again. This program is also for you if you're single. So if you're a single woman, whether you have kids or not, and you're wanting to prepare your mind, your body, your spirit, your emotions for a new relationship, and you don't want to carry some of the past mistakes that maybe you've made in your last relationship into your new relationship so that you can have a long lasting relationship with an abundance of sex, crazy, amazing sex that is so passionate and so on fire. Your relationship and marriage will literally start to remind you of a Hallmark movie. You're like, oh my God, I don't have to crave that type of passionate kiss like they have in Hallmark. And for me to access that type of passion in just the books that I read or the movies that I watch or the TV programs like Virgin River. So you no longer have to crave that and wish, gosh, I wish I could have a relationship like Jack and Mel. You will be the relationship that people will look on and crave. So you can have that for yourself. You can. It just takes some learning on how to develop that type of relationship. And that's what you will receive when you join SEXify Her. Okay. So I hope that you loved hearing about the real life, exciting news of working with my current client right now. It's so exciting. I'm just so happy for her. All right. I also want to share with you today why your sex life sucks right now. Okay. There's 4 reasons I'm going to share with you. So in the chat, let me know if you are ready to hear them because I am ready to share them. I am so ready to share them with you. So let me know. Also, if you have any questions that you would like to ask a sex coach, if you want to be coached a little, feel free to let me know either here in the chat or you can send me a private message and I'd be happy to answer that for you. All right. So, 4 reasons why your sex life sucks right now. All right. The first one is that you're coming to your relationship expecting gender roles to be fulfilled. So maybe you have a traditional mindset, and as a female, you expect, so you're coming into your relationship expecting your husband to fulfill his male gender role that you had as an example from your father or your grandfather, or you just have this ideal, these ideals around what a real man looks like or should be doing in your relationship. And as a woman, maybe these ideals have not come into fruition. So you're looking to your man to fulfill these gender roles that you have these ideals about, but they have not done that. So now you're in your mind and in your deep psyche thinking to yourself that your man is not a real man. Okay. And as soon as you start to think that your man is not a real man because he's not fulfilling the gender role that you expected him to fulfill as a man, in your psyche, that's going to start feeling like a turnoff to you. So in the chat, let me know if you agree with this. All right. Now, the reason why this is so important is because if you have a traditional mindset, what's up, Kiri? If you have a traditional mindset, so maybe you had an example of your mom and dad, and your mom was always in the kitchen taking care of the kids, doing the drop off to school back and forth. Your mom always was taking you and your siblings to soccer practice, voice practice, guitar practice, like whatever. She was always the one doing all the running around. And then you had an example of your father going out and getting the paycheck and him working around the house like a fixer-upper thing. Like, so he was always mowing the lawn and fixing things around the house and taking care of the finances, doing the checkbook, like all these different things. You saw him as the man who was setting up the dates for him and your mom to go on. Like he was the leader in all of these different places. So now that you're married and you're in a relationship, so maybe you're not married yet, maybe you're dating and you're looking for this same type of relationship. I hate to be like a downer, but most men today, they have no desire to be in this, like stuck in this male gender role that has been passed down from generation to generation, because a lot more these days our males are learning how to tap into their feminine side, where they're able to now share their emotions. They're starting to work on themselves. They're starting to improve themselves. They're starting to let go of a lot of these different male roles that were put on them. And they're starting to realize that they want to cook. They want to provide in a way where they are the one to go into the kitchen and make a really, really, really nice meal and do that. They're starting to want to help out more with taking the kids to practice and picking them up at school. Like they're wanting to be more involved as a father, which is great. Okay, it's amazing, but it's starting to trip up the mind of the female who is so used to the traditional role of man, and there's still, the female is still putting that expectation onto their man, and they're like, you don't do that, I do that. So everyone in like a relationship right now these days is super confused about what they're supposed to show up as, where they're supposed to pitch in. Guess what, you guys? You can get to this place in your relationship where you can let all that crap go, and you can come into a relationship being more free flowing with no roles. You can talk about like what you guys want to bring to the relationship, but you can have more freedom to do what you want. Like, you can learn to live outside of the box of gender roles. And I'm telling you right now, when you make that decision to do that, oh my God, I have seen so many couples that I work with start to feel so much freer in their spirit because they no longer feel tied to these gender roles that were put on us and passed down from generation to generation. So now men and women are starting to feel like, wow, like if I want to do the dishes or if I want to drop the kids off at school, the females, if they really want to go back to work and they want to bring in an incredible paycheck and they want to hustle, or they want to step into entrepreneurship and start their own business where they're hustling and they're on social media and they're posting and they're showing up and they're doing live videos and they're being invited to speak at events and all these different things. It's amazing to let go of these gender roles so that you can step into whatever calling that you're feeling led to that day or that month or that year. All it takes for you to have a relationship that is still connected like this, where we're still able to cleave to each other, where it's not taking away from the intimacy in our life, is we're having more conversations around what we feel like doing in the relationship, what we feel like doing, serving each other as husband and wife. And that can change. So what you want to do today might change 6 months from now or 2 years from now or 5 years from now. But as a couple, you're like, that's okay, because now we can just come back together and say, hey, like, I'm kind of done doing this. Are you open to take this over? Because I'm feeling called to do this thing over here. And now it's like, yes, let's do that. So if you can learn to let go of these gender roles, I'm telling you right now, you will feel more connected to your husband and your wife, and you will start to crave each other sexually again. You will start to have, like, going from low sex drive to high sex drive. Because listen, if you can let go of gender roles and gender expectations in a relationship, you're not going to have these feelings of expectation, being let down by expectation. You're not going to feel frustrated. You're not going to feel resentment towards your partner, because you haven't put anything on them and they haven't put anything on you with gender. And so now you're just showing up as your true, authentic selves. And it just feels amazing. Like, I can't even tell you how amazing that this feels. I've seen it in my own relationship, you guys. I used to be the primary person that cooked all the meals when the boys were real little, real little. And my husband was over here, like in the kitchen, watching me, and I could see it on his face that he wanted to come in and pitch in. But I was like, no, no, I'm the woman and I got to be the one to cook, because that's how I was raised and that's what I saw. But as soon as I learned how to let that gender expectation go, and I allowed my husband to come into the kitchen and give him the freedom to be creative and to cook for stress relief. It's like a way that he's self-loving on himself because it helps him to relieve stress. Like, I saw how lit up my husband became as soon as I allowed him to step into the kitchen more. It's been amazing, you guys. It's been so incredible. And I want that for you too. So that is one reason why your sex life sucks right now, is because you have a habit of putting gender roles and gender expectations on each other, and it's causing resentment. And that's the last thing that you want in a marriage. If you want your marriage to sustain and to last a really long time, is you can't have resentment in between each other, because it's a wall of division and it's the thing that turns people off the most. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's the first reason. All right. So welcome in today, you guys. We're talking about 4 reasons why your sex life sucks right now. I would love to know if this is helping you, if you're having light bulbs go off. This is stuff that really has made an impact on me and my own marriage over the last 10 years now, since our marriage has been great. Now, remember, or if you don't know, like if you're new to a live video of me, my husband and I, we were sexless for 12 freaking years. Okay. 12 years married, no sex, none. And a lot of these things that I'm talking about today are the reasons why the sex started getting taken off the table. So I want to protect you from having to go through what we did. All right. So this is why I keep showing up, having live videos every day, posting reels about sex and intimacy and relationships and tips, and because I don't want you guys to go through what we did. Do you know how lonely and frustrating that was, to crave sex as a woman but not be able to have sex with my own husband? He had no desire. So a lot of this stuff is because of so many different things. And that's actually why I put together my SEXify Her program, because I saw all of these different things that are so small that we don't even think of, that piled upon each other. And that's what ended up taking the sex off of the table. And gender expectation was one of those things. All right. Okay. So the second thing that I want to share with you as to why your sex life sucks right now is because you're not having open communication around what your needs are in the bedroom. And you're expecting him to know what's in your head. Well, he knows me. We've been married for 10 or 15 years. He must know what turns me on by now. Like, if he doesn't know what helps me to be able to climax and have pleasure by now, after being married 10 or 15 years, and he doesn't know me, he doesn't love me, he doesn't care about me, if he doesn't know automatically how to get me there, okay, you can't put that on your husband. You can't put that on him. You can't. Okay. Again, this is what's going to cause him to be completely turned off by you, because you're not being open. You're putting expectations on him during your actual time of being intimate together. You're like, "Oh, he should know. He should know." He's not going to know unless you tell him. And listen, ladies, our bodies change over the years. So what might have worked in the first 5 years of your marriage, it might not work right now. Especially if you're in perimenopause or menopause, like, our bodies change. So we need to be able to tell our husbands when our bodies are changing, and we need to have the freedom and the flexibility, and he needs to be open to that change and the flexibility, and he needs to be open to, like, not take it personal if what worked for the first 5 years is not working now. Like, hey buddy, like, so my body has changed, and what helps me to get turned on and bring an orgasm is different right now. So here's what I need you to do to help me come to a climax right now, because this is what's working now. Yes, I know this other thing used to work, but it's not working anymore. At least right now it's not working. So let's be open-minded to change things up so we don't have to take sex off the table. All right. So it's really important for you to learn how to have these very open communication, and you need to learn how to communicate in the right way and in the right timing, so that your husband is open to having these conversations with you. Because as women, we have like the worst timing when it comes to talking about things that we need. That's a huge part of what I teach you inside my program, SEXify Her. So, if you're looking to strengthen your marriage and to deepen your sexual connection, you need to take my SEXify Her program, because it is the one thing that's going to help you improve your marriage and enhance your sex life. And you're going to learn a lot of valuable insights into how to best communicate with your man that we are not taught as women. This is all of the things that I have learned from communicating best with my man, and what I've heard from other men that I've worked with in the last 10 years. So I put all of that into Sexify Her. So comment below if you would like some information on that, and I will send that over to you, okay? All right. So the third reason why your sex life is just sucking right now is because you're not prioritizing intimacy. You're allowing everything else to take first place over prioritizing your intimacy. So while your business is great and you want to build up your business and you want more clients in your business, and so you need to be showing up all the places on social media and doing live videos and in Canva creating all of these designs and all these things. You're putting so much effort into your business that it's taking away from the intimate part of your marriage, of your relationship. Your husband is starting to feel like you're putting him last, and he did not sign up for that. Okay, so your husband signed up for having as much togetherness time as possible. And I know that you signed up for this too. You did not sign up for a marriage that ends up sexless. That's not something that you have ever thought would happen. I didn't think that when I got married that my marriage would end up sexless. Like, do you think if I had known that I was going to have 12 years of sexlessness with Chuck, I probably wouldn't have even married him, honestly, if I had known ahead of time. So we don't sign up for that. We sign up to have an amazing sex life, a killer sex life, sex on fire, sex with so much passion, sex with so much desire. Like we go into marriage imagining that our husband's going to want us all the time, that we're both going to be turned on by each other like all the time, that we can't keep our hands off each other. Like that's what we think when we are going into marriage. We don't plan on it being horrible and like it going downhill. We don't expect to be lying next to our husband at night craving them, and they're right there next to us, and they'd rather be on their phone or play video games or go out with their friends or do all these other things besides being with us. Like, we don't plan on stuff like that happening. Now, you can improve your sex life, you can, and that's what my Sexify Her program is all about, is learning how to prioritize intimacy again, and how to get each other thinking about sex throughout the day so that you're more prepared mentally for the nighttime when he gets home from work and stuff like that. Like, that's all the stuff that I go into in my Sexify Her program. And that's why I was so excited at the beginning, because that woman that I told you about, when she came to me through private message a couple months ago, she said, man, I feel like I'm the one that is always approaching him for sex, and he's never approaching me for sex. And I don't feel desired anymore as a woman. Like, I don't feel sexy. It's making me feel like I'm not a woman. And now 2 months later, just this week, he's approached her for sex 2 times so far. So he's desiring her more. That doesn't happen overnight. That's because there was a lot of things that she didn't realize that she was doing that was pushing him away from her, that was turning him off. She didn't realize that she was doing a lot of things to turn him off. And as females, sometimes we just don't get it. We don't know, because we weren't trained in this, especially if you came from the church like I did. This isn't something that we're trained on in the Christian community, or even like the Catholic community, people in India, all religions, all cultures. Most of us were not trained on how to have a killer sex life. We weren't given the education. So we don't understand what the man needs. We don't understand what the female needs. We don't talk about body changes over the years as we age and all these different things that we just don't know. So we're all flying by the seat of our pants, hoping that we're going to have this amazing sex life. And then we're totally disappointed when it doesn't happen in the way that we expected it to happen once we committed to our partners. That's why I'm here. That's why I have such a huge amount of passion to help you guys, because I understand, because I went through it myself. Like, a lot of these things I didn't know I was doing. I didn't know I was turning off my husband by a lot of these different things. I didn't know. And here I was over here like, well, I'm the one that wants sex and you don't want it. Like I made it like pointing fingers at him because I wanted it and he didn't. Little did I know there was a huge laundry list of things that I was doing that I was turning him off. I didn't even know. And he didn't want to come to me and talk to me about it because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. He didn't want to cause a fight because, who wants to fight? He wants to fight. So a lot of us, we don't have these conversations because we're so scared that it's going to cause fights and divorce and all this stuff. When really, if we had more conversations about what we're unhappy about and we allow our partner to come to us with those same kind of conversations, the better off we'd be. Okay. So the third thing is like you have to prioritize intimacy. I don't care if you schedule it. I don't care if it's spontaneous. Get used to not saying no to each other. Even if you're tired, still say yes. Okay. Like you can't say no because you're going to feel rejected. He's going to feel rejected. Like you have to learn to say yes. Yes to the sex. Yes to the sex. Yes to the sex. Like you have to get used to it. Okay. Because when your partner is feeling rejected or you're feeling rejected, like the last thing that you want is to say yes the next time, right? Like if you were to approach your husband for sex and he says no for whatever reason, that doesn't feel good, right? That feels hurtful. That feels like, oh man, like what's wrong with me? And you start looking inward. Am I too fat? Am I not sexy? Do I not turn him on anymore? You know, when really it's because you're not giving him enough grace to get in himself in the mood. Okay. So still initiate. Even if your partner said no last time, still approach. Don't take a no as, oh, he doesn't want me as a person. Still get used to initiating. And then make sure that you are allowing that space for your partner to initiate, and then you're saying yes. Okay. So prioritizing intimacy is huge, and it's one of the biggest things that I see couples do wrong. They put their job ahead of sex, they put their kids ahead of sex, they put cooking dinner ahead of sex, they put their in-laws ahead of sex, they put phone calls to their mom ahead of sex, phone calls to their girlfriend, going out with their girlfriends, having guys' night. Like they're doing all these other things except prioritizing intimacy. And listen, if the connection sexually is broken in your relationship, don't be surprised if you want to cheat or your husband wants to cheat. Or don't be surprised if divorce papers are showing up in your house, because sex is glue to your relationship. It is why God created sex. One of the reasons he wanted to keep you guys together. And sex and intimacy is one of the main things that helps with that. So prioritize intimacy, okay? All right. The last thing that I'm going to talk to you guys about as to why your sex life is sucking right now is because you're not having regular date nights, right? So think about when you were first dating your husband and your wife. Think about how you thought all the time, like, oh, what's our next date going to be? Where am I going to take them next? Like you had that on your mind all of the time. You were wanting to woo her. What happened to that? What happened to that, gentlemen? Why did you stop dating your wife? Seriously, why did you stop going after her in the same way that you did in the beginning of dating? You have to still prioritize date night. Your wife still needs to be romanticized. Okay? She needs to know that you're thinking about her and that you're planning ahead because you imagine how it's going to be with her, and you're buying the flowers and you're pulling out her chair before she sits at the restaurant. You're giving her your jacket if she's cold. Like women still want that. We still desire that, right, ladies? We still want romance after we get married. All right? And you're not prioritizing dating us, okay? Same thing for the females. Your man doesn't have to be the only one that's planning date night, right? Your man still wants to be wooed and still desired as well. So step up, ladies, and plan an amazing romantic night for your husband. Do all the things that you like to receive from him, do it for him. It's going to feel so good for him. And it's going to take some pressure off of him to always be the one to come up with the date nights, okay? But that's the fourth reason as to why your sex life is sucking right now, is because you're not prioritizing that time with each other. It's so freaking important. All right. So those are the 4 reasons as to why your sex life sucks. And I know that you don't want your sex life to suck. Like, I know you don't want it to. So if you're really wanting to improve your sex life, start to put your sex life as a priority again. Okay. And I just gave you 4 ways as to how you could do that. Now, if those 4 ways still don't work and it's still not happening, I'm telling you, you all need my SEXify Her program. I have so many results from women and men that have taken that program. They've told me it's a lifesaver for them. It saved their marriage. It improved their sex life. It helped them to spice things up when they were feeling like things were getting monotonous or boring. It works. But you have to be the one to take charge and take back control of your marriage by taking the program. I can't do it for you. You have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your marriage. And I'll be there with you the whole way. We're going to do it together. And you're going to have access to other women that have done the program. You're going to feel very, very supported. And you're going to be held accountable for going through the lessons, because there's over 20 different lessons in the SEXify Her program that are going to radically improve your marriage and your sex life. But you have to take the classes and then you have to implement. So you could take the classes and not implement and then not see a change. Don't come back to me if you're not implementing and saying the program doesn't work. That's on you if you're not implementing, and you can't expect change to happen overnight either. Like, I still implement these things that I teach, and we're 10 years on the other side of having sex again together. I'm still implementing these things today. And when I start to see that there's been, wow, it's been a month, it's been a couple of months since we've had sex. So I go inward and I ask myself a very truthful question. How are you doing, Heather, with implementing the things that you teach to couples? And I have to admit to myself, man, I have not been implementing in the way that I was just a couple months ago. So a lot of this stuff is on me. A lot of the stuff is on you as a woman. So you have more control than you think that you do over why the sex is missing in your life. And I would love to be able to help you with that. So I will put the link to join the program. Let me just see if this works. I will try this and you guys can let me know if this link works. So somebody that's watching, let me know if this link works. This is where you join SEXify Her. All right, so hopefully that works. Y'all can let me know. And that's where you'll join the program. And then the support piece will be provided to you through private message, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, or we could do email, so I can keep track of your progress and then answer any questions that you might have. But I can't wait to see you in there. It's going to be amazing. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I will be with you again tomorrow. All right. Take care. Love you.